What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Crimson Artist YouTube video. My name is Rochetta, and welcome to the second part in my ongoing series of Marvel Cinematic Universe films. Last week, which was the first week in this series, was me talking about the first Iron Man, how much I fucking love that movie, still do. And this week, I'm going to talk about The Incredible Hulk. This film was directed by Louis Leterrier, stars Edward Norton, Liv Tyler, Tim Roth, Tim Blake Nelson, and William Hurt. The story, it's not necessarily an origin tale, but it's still considered a reboot from the 2003 film directed by Ang Lee. It's kind of like a mixture of both, if you really get down to it, because at the end of that film, we see Bruce Banner hiding in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken. And in the beginning of this film, he's kind of in a similar area. He's hiding from the authorities because of, him being the Hulk. So that's basically the essential premise of, Let me rephrase that. The story is about a man on a run from the United States because of a very, very powerful sickness that he has within him, and he is learning to he's trying to find a cure for said disease, or finding a way to control said disease. That's essentially the prime plot, the main plot of the entire film, him trying to find a cure, and if all else fails, just learn how to control it. There's some good fights. There's a lot of good action, good tension. The ending, the final fight between the Abomination and Harlem, I felt was, while very cool, it just kind of strayed away from how kind of realistic this movie can really be, especially when dealing with a huge creature such as the Hulk. What happens when someone has unfortunately tapped this kind of power and the consequences regarding said power. The first half of the movie, at least, was definitely the strongest parts, especially after running away for his condition. But then the second half just deviates and it just becomes a Universal monster movie. I get that he is a monster. We're supposed to get some monster action, but up until that point, I was just like, okay, this is just, whatever. I still consider this a pretty entertaining movie. I have a lot of problems with The Incredible Hulk. First, before I discuss those problems, let me talk about what I did like about the movie. I like the tone. I like the action. I especially love the opening credits. This is, like I said, a semi-reboot / sequel, and we don't want to know how Bruce Banner got his powers again. We get it. He was exposed to gamma radiation, and things went to shit. The Incredible Hulk just showed a brief montage of what happened when he first got his powers, and now he's on the run from the law. We get that. And we see what happens afterwards. That is a smart thing to do. We know how he got his powers. We get it. Now, let's just move on. I'm so glad that they managed to incorporate that in the opening title. When do we ever see opening credits before? Just this, I think this is the only film in the MCU to actually have an opening title sequence, and one that is actually fucking badass. I do like the performances. I think Edward Norton is a fantastic Bruce Banner. Liv Tyler is a very sympathetic Betsy Ross. William Hurt is, he's a douchebag. But then again, that's what Ross is supposed to be. Tim Blake Nelson, if only Universal allowed Marvel Studios, a studio that is doing incredibly well these days, allows them to actually make a standalone Hulk movie, instead of having him appear in other superheroes movies like Thor, but whatever. Like, Tim Blake Nelson, he's supposed to be a future Hulk villain called the Leader, but for some reason that's not really going to happen. They make such a huge big deal of this fucking character. Like, sorry, I'm talking about my strengths with the movie. I'm not talking about the weakest parts of this movie. Tim Roth is a great villain. I think he's fucked up. Especially when he turns into the Abomination. It's like, holy crap, dude. Calm the fuck down. Well, then again, you're called the Abomination, and you have Bruce's DNA within your system now, so I guess I can't tell you to calm down. So, yeah, those are my positives of the movie. It visually looks great. It has a ton of action, great performances, a tremendous opening scene. My major issues with The Incredible Hulk is that they play too much close to the original TV series with, Bill Bixby as the Incredible Hulk. Like, I get that. I think it's a smart touch, but I wish this was a little bit more on a original scale in terms of it being a Hulk adaptation. I mean, say what you want about the Hulk movie with Ang Lee. I think they handled the originality, albeit not very good originality, but at least it was original in its own right. But I still, I think they could have played it down a little bit, in my opinion. Like I said, the latter half of the film deviates everything that the first half was building up to. Tim Blake Nelson, once again, he was supposed to be the leader. He was going to be the leader in these Hulk movies, but for some fucking reason, that never really got around. Why build up something so big only to never really followed up again in future films, whether if it's Hulk related or not? I would have loved to see another standalone Hulk movie, but no, Ed Norton is off the projects, and now we have Mark Ruffalo, and I'm not mad about that. I think Mark Ruffalo is a tremendous replacement, a better replacement, in my opinion. But I just wish that Marvel and Universal would actually come to an agreement with Hulk, and as well as other characters like fucking Namor. But with that said, I think this is an okay movie. When I first saw it, I actually didn't see it in theaters, believe it or not. Maybe it's because I was already back in 2008. We had the first Iron Man movie and The Dark Knight. I think I was kind of done with comic book movies during that summer. So I guess I kind of missed out that, and I still had very, very shitty memories regarding the 2003 Hulk movie. It was kind of like a PTSD moment. It was like, oh god, I don't want to see this. But I heard it was good, and I said to myself, I might check it out whenever I can. And I did, and I liked it. It's not that bad. It has a lot of problems, though, especially for a monster movie. And I love monster movies, mind you. I just think this could have been a little better, in my opinion. But with that said, my final verdict for... Oh, wait, sorry. Before I also give my final verdict, I just want to point out how surprisingly well done this film actually did in bringing more tease into this Marvel Cinematic Universe. The first film was a huge mind blow in terms of having Nick Fury show up at the very end. At the end of this film, before anybody realizing it, the ending took place at a bar, and William Hurt's character was drinking, fucking pissed off over the whole Hulk situation, and who comes in? Tony fucking Stark. Holy crap. This thing is real. The Incredible Hulk wasn't just a standard monster movie, but it was just to serve as a reminder telling us that, yeah, remember that tease at the very end of the first Iron Man movie? Yeah, it's been confirmed. This is going to become a much bigger universe. And with Tony Stark appearing at the end of The Incredible Hulk, that was mind-blowing. I was like, holy crap, this is actually happening! Oh God, I can't wait to see more, and I can't wait to talk about more. So, with that being said, my final verdict for The Incredible Hulk is definitely a solid B. Like I said, it has great action, great performances, a tremendous opening credits scene, a pretty killer soundtrack. It's not as great as Iron Man's, but hey, it's different tones, different themes involved, so you can't really compare the two. The only problems is that there is a lot of takeaways from the original TV series, and the monster battle, while cool, it kind of deviates everything that was building up to at the very first half of the movie. It's like the first half of the movie, they're building up to of this guy trying to find a cure or trying to, find a way to control it. Then during this battle happens, and like, wait a minute, what's going on here, right? But then after the battle, things revert back to how things were from the first half of the movie. It's like, come on, why make such a drastic change and then go back all of a sudden? That's the thing that brought it down to a B for me. If you like The Incredible Hulk, if you hated The Incredible Hulk, let me know as to why you hate it or like the movie. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. Next week, we'll be talking about the first ever sequel and the third film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is Iron Man 2. Stay tuned for that, and once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Take care.